The Midnight Suns. They are a group of supernatural heroes formed to battle mystical and otherworldly threats. They are closely tied to dark, horror-themed elements of the Marvel Universe and are often associated with characters dealing in magic, demons, or the occult. This group was introduced during the Rise of the Midnight Suns crossover in 1992, which spanned several series including Ghost Rider, Morbius, Darkhold pages from the Book of Sins, Night Stalkers, and Spirits of Vengeance. The team was born in the early 1990s, a time when supernatural and gothic themes were thriving in pop culture. So Marvel capitalized on this trend by creating a darker, horror-focused team to explore the grittier, supernatural side of its universe. Not only that, but this era saw a surge in interest in anti-heroes and morally complex characters, making the Midnight Suns a perfect fit for the time. As for the members, like any other team, the composition of the Midnight Suns has varied throughout the years, but some of the central figures include Johnny Blaze and Danny Ketch, both bearers of the Ghost Rider curse, capable of wielding hellfire and executing supernatural justice, Blade the Vampire Hunter, Morbius, a biochemist who, in attempting to cure his own blood disorder, becomes a pseudo-vampire with a thirst for blood but retains his humanity, Doctor Strange, the well-known Sorcerer Supreme. He occasionally aligns with the group, providing significant magical expertise. Other notable members include Damien Hellstorm, Man-Thing, Moon Knight, Werewolf by Night, Elsa Bloodstone, and that's just to name a few. Like I mentioned, the Midnight Suns deal with the darker and more horror-oriented aspects of the Marvel Universe, and their missions typically involve vampires and other malevolent supernatural forces, so their adventures are marked by a grittier and darker tone than your usual superheroes. And while the Midnight Suns have not been as prominently featured in mainstream media as other Marvel teams, elements of the group and its characters have appeared in various animated series and video games or even films, such as the movie Morbius, Ghost Rider, and the Disney Plus series Moon Knight, and many other. The concept of this team that delves into the supernatural offers a rich vein of storytelling and provides a counterbalance to the more sci-fi and traditional narratives in superhero media. SHIELD. I mentioned Hydra in my supervillain teams video, so it's only right to mention SHIELD. It's a fictional espionage and law enforcement agency that first appeared in Strange Tales 135 in 1965. And it is known for its role in dealing with paranormal and superhuman threats. SHIELD was originally conceived as an extension of the United States military and the United Nations, tasked with defending the world from both domestic and extraterrestrial threats. And under the leadership of its most famous director, Nick Fury, the agency operates from various secret bases around the world, including a notable airborne carrier known as the Helicarrier. SHIELD is characterized by its use of cutting-edge technology, as the organization employs various high-tech vehicles, weaponry, and communications devices, as well as advanced espionage techniques. In the Marvel Universe, the organization plays a central role in numerous story arcs, often interacting with superheroes and influencing major events, and its agents are depicted as highly trained operatives, capable of handling both superhuman and conventional challenges. SHIELD has been a prominent feature in many Marvel adaptations, especially within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. In the MCU, SHIELD is initially portrayed as a secretive organization, with its activities and the character of Nick Fury, played by Samuel L. Jackson, becoming a unifying element across the various films. And the TV series Agents of SHIELD further explores the organization's impact on the world and its dynamics with different characters and threats. But that show is not canon to the MCU anymore. The Thunderbolts. They are a team of reformed villains who masquerade as heroes or perform heroic acts either for redemption or for more covert, self-serving goals. They were first introduced in The Incredible Hulk 449 in 1997, and the original Thunderbolts were formed in the aftermath of the Onslaught saga, where many of Earth's primary heroes were believed dead. So Baron Zemo seized that opportunity and formed the Thunderbolts, initially posing as heroes to fill the void and ultimately planning to use this as leverage for world domination. However, as the team gained public trust and admiration, many of its members grew to like their new roles as genuine heroes, leading to an internal conflict and a split with Zemo. As of their key members, there's Baron Zemo, of course. Like I said, he is the original leader and under the guise of Citizen V. There's also Carla Sofen, aka Moonstone. She's a psychologist and manipulator with superhuman strength and flight. Norbert Ebersol, aka Fixer, a genius-level engineer and inventor responsible for much of the team's technology. Melissa Gold, aka Songbird, she has the ability to generate sound waves and constructs. And Abner Jenkins, aka Mac X, a pilot and engineer with a suit that grants him flight and enhanced combat capabilities. Over time, the lineup and motivations of the team have shifted, including stints led by Norman Osborn during the Dark Reign storyline, where the group was repurposed as a Black Ops government team. Later versions of the team included anti-heroes and even some stalwart heroes, like Red Hulk Thunderbolts, Hawkeye's Thunderbolts, and the Winter Soldier Thunderbolts. So the complexity of their stories makes them suitable for nuanced portrayals, exploring the grey areas between heroism and villainy. And this year, 2025, there's gonna be a movie adaptation of the Thunderbolts. The plot is not clear at the moment, but I did check the IMDb page for the movie, and there's a synopsis. Let's take a look at it. A group of supervillains are recruited to go on missions for the government. So basically Marvel's Suicide Squad. Just kidding. Anyway, the team is gonna include Yelena Belova, Winter Soldier, Red Guardian, US Agent, Taskmaster, and Ghost. A lot of old familiar faces, so I'm looking forward to that. Alpha Flight. The team is in this video because of this guy right here. If any Canadians are watching this video, this guy is a national treasure and you must protect him at all costs. Anyway, Alpha Flight is a Canadian superhero team that first appeared in X-Men 120 in 1979. The team was originally introduced as part of the backstory of Wolverine and later received its own series due to fan interest. Alpha Flight operates as the official superhero team of Canada, funded and sanctioned by the Canadian government. The team's roster has varied over the years, but initially included James Hudson aka Guardian, the leader of the team, Narya aka Snowbird, a demigoddess with the power to transform into any Canadian animal and manipulate snow and ice, Walter Lankowski aka Sasquatch, a scientist who can transform into a large powerful beast resembling the mythical Sasquatch, Michael Youngman aka Shaman, a medicine man with the ability to use magical spells and summon spiritual energy, and Aurora and Northstar, twin siblings with the ability to travel at superhuman speeds, fly and project photonic energy blasts. Alpha Flight deals with the threats to Canadian soil, and their stories combine elements of science fiction, fantasy and mythology, so their unique cultural and geographical backdrop offers rich storytelling possibilities that differs from the more commonly depicted American settings in superhero media. The team has not been as prominently featured in mainstream media as other superhero teams, but remains a beloved part of Marvel's lineup. I mean, a lot of people told me to put Alpha Flight in the second part of Marvel's popular teams, so here you go. The New Mutants. They are a team of young mutants serving as a junior counterpart to the more established X-Men, and they first appeared in Marvel Graphic Novel 4 in 1982. They were initially a group of teenage mutants training at Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters, learning to cope with their mutant powers while facing the typical challenges of adolescence. The original lineup of the New Mutants includes Cannonball, known for his ability to propel himself through the air like a human rocket, while being invulnerable when doing so. Wolfsbane, a Scottish mutant who can transform into a wolf or into a transitional state between human and wolf. Mirage, a Cheyenne mutant with the power to create illusions, drawn from the fears and desires of a person's mind. Sunspot, a Brazilian mutant with the ability to absorb and channel solar power. And Karma, the first team leader who has the ability to possess other people's bodies. Over the years, the team's roster has expanded to include other members such as Magic, Warlock, and Magma, among others. And the New Mutants have been involved in various significant story arcs, dealing with issues ranging from teenage angst and cultural identity to more extensive conflicts involving time travel, alien encounters, and interdimensional threats. So their stories often explore themes of growth, belonging, and reflecting the struggles of adolescents through the lens of mutant experience. The team has been adapted into various media, most notably a live-action film adaptation back in 2020 called The New Mutants. The film presents a horror-infused take on the team's origin story, focusing on the characters discovering their abilities while held in a secret facility. And the film was the final X-Men movie released under 20th Century Fox before the studio was acquired by Disney in 2019. The Runaways. They are a team of superpowered teenagers who band together after discovering their parents are part of an evil crime organization known as the Pride. They first appeared in Runaways 1 in 2003, and the series has been praised for its fresh take on the superhero genre and its focus on diverse, relatable young characters navigating both the challenges of adolescence and the complexities of their newfound abilities. The original lineup of the Runaways includes Alex Wilder, a strategic genius without superpowers who initially leads the group, Nico Minoru, a witch who can cast spells with her Staff of One, Carolina Dean, an alien from the Magdanian race who can manipulate solar energy, Gertrude Yorks, who has a telepathic link with a genetically engineered dinosaur named Old Lace, Chase Stein, who possesses vestigans, high-tech gloves that create fire and later acquires X-ray goggles, and Molly Hayes, a mutant with superhuman strength and invulnerability. Throughout its run, the Runaway series has seen several roster changes, and the team often grapples with the moral ambiguities of their parents' legacy while forging their own path as heroes. The series is notable for its character-driven storytelling and for dealing with social issues relevant to a younger audience. It brought a new style of storytelling to Marvel and made the young heroes sympathetic and relatable. The Runaways was adapted into a television series by Hulu, which premiered in 2017 and ran for 3 seasons. The show expanded on the themes of the comics and brought the characters and their stories to a wider audience. And Nico Minoru will be in the upcoming animated series Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, so is this a tease for Marvel's Runaways introduction to the MCU? Maybe yes, maybe no, so we'll just have to wait and see. Young Avengers. They are also a team of teenage superheroes, the 3rd teenagers team on this list. Anyway, they were conceived as a younger counterpart to the Avengers and first appeared in Young Avengers 1 in 2005. The series has been noted for its fresh take on the superhero genre, and their stories often focus on the challenges of living up to the legacy of the Avengers while carving out their own identities. The series has been praised for its character development, narrative depth, and for providing a platform for diverse stories. The original lineup of the team includes Iron Lad, a younger version of Kang the Conqueror, who seeks to avoid becoming his future self. There's also Teddy Altman, aka Hulkling, a shape-shifting hybrid of Kree and Skrull heritage, who later becomes significant in intergalactic politics. Billy Kaplan, aka Wiccan, a sorcerer with powers similar to Scarlet Witch, who is later revealed to be one of her reincarnated sons. Ellie Bradley, aka Patriot, the grandson of Isaiah Bradley, the Black Captain America, who initially uses performance-enhancing drugs to match his grandfather's powers, but later receives a blood transfusion that gives him genuine superpowers. Kate Bishop, a skilled archer who adopts the Hawkeye name after Clint Barton, and Cassie Lang, aka Sacher, the daughter of Scott Lang, the Ant-Man, who inherits the ability to change her size. And over time, of course, the roster has evolved to include other characters like Kid Loki, America Chavez, and Novar, Marvel Boy. The Young Avengers have yet to be featured as a group in either a major film or a TV show, because several characters have already appeared in various MCU projects, like Cassie Lang in the Ant-Man films, Kate Bishop in the Hawkeye Disney Plus series, and America Chavez in the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and Wiccan in Agatha All Along, and many others. So we'll see how that's gonna turn out. Illuminati. It's a secretive group consisting of some of the most powerful and intelligent characters who work behind the scenes to manage and sometimes manipulate major events in the world. The group first appeared in New Avengers 7 in 2005, and their primary aim is to strategize and act on threats to Earth and the universe that they deem too large or complex for any one hero or regular team to handle. They often operate in the shadows, keeping their existence and decisions secret from even their closest allies and teams. The original roster of the Illuminati includes Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Black Bolt the King of the Inhumans, Namor the King of Atlantis, Professor X, and Mr. Fantastic. They represent a cerebral counterpart to the more physically powerful superhero teams like the Avengers, dealing with cosmic scale threats and moral dilemmas that test the limits of power and responsibility. But their actions have often been controversial within the Marvel universe, bringing up ethical questions about power and governance. Their methods sometimes lead to significant consequences, such as when their decision to launch Hulk into space led to the World War Hulk storyline, where an enraged Hulk returns to seek vengeance against them. The Illuminati hasn't been fully featured in a movie or a proper adaptation, but in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, in a fan-servicey moment, they showed up only to die, and by die I mean not a normal PG-13 MCU death, but horribly die at the hands of Scarlet Witch. And the concept of a group like the Illuminati pulling strings from behind the scenes could potentially be a significant plot element in future Marvel films. So here's part 2 as promised. Let me know if you want a third part in the comments. So yeah, take a look at my other videos if you want, and thanks for watching.